So I lived in Hollywood. I worked in TV and film for a while. And what you think TV and film is isn't at all what it is. I'll tell you, most people who are actually stars are people you wouldn't want to have dinner with. They're not people you'd want to have as friends or people that you wouldn't want to have as neighbors. They're a product that's being sold. Hollywood's a very ugly place. It is, not for just uh, some of the mass stuff that they produce, which is crap. And the thing is, most of the people who work in TV know it's crap. There's nothing worse than meeting the people that are crews in TV and film that will tell you how disheartened they are because of all the stuff that they mass produce. Because in Hollywood, it's all about let's produce as much garbage as we possibly can to fill the airways. Because before the 1970s, we only had, about two or three stations, really three or four, maybe five at the most. And then we had maybe 14 or 15 in the 80s. But then after 2000 happened, we exploded and we have about 200 to 300 television stations. But the thing is, only about 14% of them are profitable. But we have to numb down the population. Most of the stuff that's made for TV, and this I will tell you, most of the people who work on crews that create it will tell you most of the stuff is just there to numb you and dumb you down. It's just there to take up space. It's not to even entertain you. It's not even to make you think, make you feel. It's certainly not to educate you at all. The people who are the very, very top in Hollywood are making a killing. They are definitely the 1% of the population as far as wealth, and they pay very, very, very small amount of taxes in Hollywood. Hollywood has more people who are homeless per capita than any other place in America. And people say that's because of broken dreams. Some of it has to do with broken dreams, but a lot of it has to do with cost of living there. People can't afford to live in most of California, and they definitely can't afford to live in Los Angeles unless they're making really, really high salaries. But Hollywood makes that, that spasm even worse because the top people are making, $20 million a year, but extras on TV are making minimum wage. People who are homeless in Hollywood get stepped over, get ignored, get mistreated, get, abused and used by the system. But a lot of the system that is using and abusing them is the TV and film industry. People don't want to talk about that because they think that, everybody you see on TV, they appear really nice and sweet, and that's my favorite actor or actress. But the thing is, they're a product that's being sold. It has nothing to do with talent. It has nothing to do with, what they're doing, because a lot of what's being produced in Hollywood, they don't make money. They make money down the road because they keep selling it off to more and more stations to do it on reruns. TV and film isn't what you think it is. It's about, for a big part, you have to sell out to make it in Hollywood. And once you sell out, you get removed from watch reality. When you're making $20 million a year and your people on your crew and people who are extras to make that scene work are making minimum wage, there's something not right. And that's not just greed, it has to do with the system. The system's really messed up. It is. You have Nickelodeon and Disney that kind of make these little kids and teenagers kind of fanatic fiends that are just out of control, who own and completely control the show, and everybody else works for them. There's something seriously not right with that. It's different if somebody just, they are truly a star, but we've made everybody a star. In America, you could talk to the average person and you could ask them to name 20 presidents, and they couldn't name 20 presidents, but you could ask them to name 200 celebrities, and the average person could tell you 200 celebrities. There's something not right with that. And it has to do with, celebrity culture. It has to do with the way we love celebrities in America. We've absolutely made them the end-all, be-all, when maybe they're not the end-all, be-all. Why are we worshiping celebrities? Are we worshiping celebrities because our lives are not pretty good ourselves and we live through them? I would say a lot of it has to do with that. Because the thing is what they're posting on social media, they're not talking to you. You're really not in their life. You are something that they're using to get more clicks and get more followers so they can get more money on their deals. It has nothing to do with whether or not you are actually their friend or not their friend, because you're not their friend. You're somebody that they're using. In America, when I could ask the average person to name 20 presidents and they can't do it, give or take whether or not you believe in politicians, because that's a whole nother story. But when they can't name 20 presidents, but they can name 200 celebrities, there's something seriously not right with that. There's something seriously not right with that. Whenever you're worried more about who your celebrity is marrying, than your own family members, who they are, there's something not right with that. When you're doing what they tell you to do, buying the products that they tell you to buy, instead of you just doing your own life and following who you want to follow and wearing what you want to wear and believing what you want to believe, there's something seriously not right with that. The Kardashians don't know anything more than you do, except that they know how to work the system. They're not your friends. They never were your friends, and they never will be your friends. And that's true of every celebrity. Ellen DeGeneres is not your friend. She's not. Sylvester Stallone, he's not your friend. None of these people are your friends. They may shake your hand if you ever see them out and about, but you're just a product. You're just something that helps them get to the life that they want to get to. And they are absolutely making a killing. They're the 1% in California. The richest people in California, some of them are in Silicon Valley, but a lot of them are Hollywood movie stars. So you have to worry about who you idolize, and why you idolize them. Is it because you think their lives are so great? Because that's debatable. Of course they have a lot of money. They get a lot of money because they've taken it from other places that money would be better used, talking about. When you look at celebrities in Hollywood, if 1% of the money they made a year went to help the homeless people, there would not be one homeless person in Hollywood. But yeah, there's homeless people in Hollywood like crazy. Suicides through the roof in Hollywood. If 1% of the money that they made went to help the truly needy, that problem would be addressed and solved, but it's not addressed and solved. So you have to wonder about who you worship, and you have to wonder why we have a society that wants you to worship them. Is there a reason why, governments have, because governments subsidize the TV and film industry. Like I said, there's only about 14 channels that actually make money. The other ones lose money, but they get an awful lot of money from the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense gives TV and film a lot of money because they actually oversee the way that the police are portrayed and the way the military is portrayed. There are people in the Department of Defense and the Pentagon, their whole job is to give advice to the TV and film industry, how they want the military to look, how they want law enforcement to look. It is really rare that you actually see something negative about those two professions, because the Department of Defense subsidizes the TV and film industry to such a huge level that whatever the Department of Defense says, the TV and film industry will do, because guess what? The Department of Defense are the ones that loan them the jets, loan them the tanks, loans them all these different props that they need for the films that they're making. So you have to wonder, who's controlling who and why are they controlling it? Because who would it benefit to have 200 to 300 television stations when the majority of them don't make money? It benefits the Department of Defense, because if you have the majority of the population that's numbed down and dumbed down and they're not paying attention to stuff that really matters, you can get over on them. You can. Think about it for a second. Why would the Department of Defense, why would Homeland Security want you to be numb and dumb and not paying attention to the bigger issues? They'd want you to pay attention to stuff that really doesn't matter, so you don't pay attention to the stuff that does matter. You should be caring about nuclear weapons. You should be caring about nuclear war. You should be caring about climate change. You should be caring about poverty. You should be caring about wealth disparity. You should be caring about police brutality. You should be caring about those things. But if you're paying attention to what the Kardashians are wearing or where they went to or who they're marrying, You're not paying attention to that stuff. So you have to start putting 2 and 2 together and getting 4 instead of putting 2 to 2 together and getting 8. Because that's not helping anybody.